Hello, and welcome to G Fun Facts Online, where we explore the most fascinating corners of science. Today, we're tackling a question that bridges two worlds we usually keep separate: the vibrant, messy world of biology and the strange, counterintuitive world of quantum physics. Think about a simple plant. It takes sunlight and turns it into life. Simple, right? But the process is so perfect, so impossibly efficient, that our classical understanding of chemistry and physics falls short. What if the secret to life's most profound processes isn't just about molecules bumping into each other? What if life is actively using the bizarre rules of the quantum realm, things like particles being in multiple places at once and being mysteriously connected across distances? This is the core idea of quantum biology, an emerging field suggesting that life's genius lies in its mastery of the subatomic. So, let's explore how nature might be a quantum engineer, starting with the most fundamental process on Earth: photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the engine of life on our planet. We all learned the basics. Plants absorb sunlight through chlorophyll, use that energy to split water, and combine it with carbon dioxide to create sugars, their food. For decades, we thought we had the picture more or less figured out. A photon of light from the sun strikes the surface of a leaf. Its energy is captured by an antenna, a vast, intricate network of chlorophyll molecules. From there, this packet of energy, called an excitant, needs to find its way to a very specific location known as the reaction center. It's only at the reaction center that the energy can be converted into a stable chemical form. Now, imagine this journey. The inside of a plant cell is a bustling, chaotic city of molecules. For that single packet of energy to navigate this dense molecular forest to find one tiny destination is like trying to walk through Times Square on New Year's Eve, blindfolded, to find one specific person. According to classical physics, the energy should take a random walk, bouncing from molecule to molecule, losing a bit of energy with each hop, like a dissipating echo. By this logic, a huge chunk of the sun's energy should be wasted as heat before it ever reaches the reaction center. But that's not what happens. In reality, the energy transfer in photosynthesis is over 95% efficient. It happens in mere picoseconds. That's trillionths of a second. How can it be so fast and so perfect? This is where quantum mechanics steps in with a mind-bending explanation: quantum coherence. Instead of the energy packet behaving like a discrete particle hopping along one path, it behaves like a wave. Imagine dropping a pebble in a pond. The ripples spread out in all directions at once. In the quantum world, the energy packet does something similar. It doesn't choose one path. It spreads out and explores all possible paths through the molecular forest simultaneously. It's a quantum parallel search. By being in a superposition of all paths at once, it can instantly determine which route is the shortest and most efficient. Once that optimal path is found, the wave-like state collapses, and the energy is delivered directly to the reaction center with virtually no loss. This isn't just a wild theory. In 2007, and in many experiments since, scientists used incredibly fast femtosecond lasers that fire pulses lasting just a millionth of a billionth of a second, to take snapshots of this process. They observed long-lasting, wave-like quantum beats, which is the telltale signature of this quantum coherence in action. It proved that these delicate quantum effects can survive in the warm, wet, and messy environment of a living cell, something many physicists thought was impossible. Life, it turns out, has engineered a way to protect and exploit these quantum phenomena. The implications are staggering. If we can truly master the principles of photosynthetic quantum efficiency, we could move beyond our current silicon-based solar panels and create bio-inspired technologies that harvest light energy with the near-perfect efficiency of a common leaf, revolutionizing our quest for clean energy. Now let's move from the plant kingdom to the animal kingdom, and one of its most enduring mysteries: migration. How does a creature like the European robin, weighing no more than a few sheets of paper, navigate a 3,000-mile journey from Scandinavia to North Africa and back often returning to the very same garden. It flies at night, over open water, without obvious landmarks. For years, scientists speculated about an internal compass, perhaps based on tiny magnetic iron particles in the bird's beak that would align with the Earth's magnetic field, like a simple pocket compass. However, the Earth's magnetic field is incredibly weak, about 100 times weaker than a fridge magnet, and it's not clear how such a mechanism could provide the directional and geographical information needed for such a precise journey. The leading hypothesis today is far more radical and deeply quantum. It's called the radical pair mechanism, and it suggests the bird sees the Earth's magnetic field. Here's how it's thought to work. Inside the bird's retina are light-sensitive proteins called cryptochromes. When a photon of blue light enters the bird's eye, it strikes one of these cryptochrome molecules, providing just enough energy to knock an electron from one part of the molecule to another. This creates what's called a radical pair. Two molecules, each with an unpaired electron. These two electrons are born from the same event, so they become quantumly entangled. This is the spooky action at a distance Einstein famously disliked. Their properties, specifically their quantum spin, are now correlated. Think of spin as a tiny, internal magnetic arrow for each electron. Initially, their spins are linked in a specific state, but this state is fragile. The incredibly weak magnetic field of the Earth is just strong enough to influence how these spins evolve over time. The key is that the strength and direction of the Earth's field will cause the spins to fall out of sync at a certain rate. This rate depends directly on the angle between the bird's head and the magnetic field lines. This subtle change in spin alignment directly affects the final chemical reaction. If the spins remain correlated in a certain way, they produce one type of chemical product. If they are changed by the magnetic field, they produce a different one. This cascade of chemical reactions creates a pattern of light and dark that gets overlaid on the bird's normal vision. In essence, the bird would see a filter, or a pattern across the sky, a pattern that changes as it turns its head, indicating the direction of the magnetic field lines. It's a visual, biological, quantum compass. While we haven't put a camera inside a robin's brain to confirm this, indirect evidence is mounting. Studies have shown that robins' navigational ability is light-dependent and can be disrupted by specific oscillating magnetic fields that would theoretically interfere with the radical pair's quantum state. It's a stunning example of how a complex biological function might be fundamentally rooted in the quantum world. Finally, let's consider a sense we use every single day, our sense of smell or olfaction. The classic explanation for how we distinguish the smell of a banana from the smell of coffee is the lock and key model. It's an intuitive idea. Every odor molecule has a unique 3D shape, and our nose is lined with millions of receptors, each a specific lock. When a molecule with the right key shape floats in and fits into its matching receptor, it triggers a signal to the brain, which we perceive as a particular scent. This model is a good starting point, and it explains a lot. But it's not the whole story. For example, molecules called enantiomers are perfect mirror images of each other, like your left and right hands. They have the exact same shape, just flipped. Yet, they can smell completely different. Carvone is a great example. One version smells like spearmint, its mirror image smells like caraway. The lock and key model struggles to explain this. On the other hand, some molecules with very different shapes can smell almost identical. There must be another property at play. Enter the vibration theory of olfaction, a controversial but fascinating quantum alternative. Proposed by biophysicist Luca Turin, this theory suggests that our noses are not detecting shape, but something much more subtle: molecular vibrations. Every chemical bond within a molecule vibrates at a characteristic frequency, like a tiny tuning fork. The vibration theory posits that our smell receptors act as tiny, biological spectrometers. Here's the proposed mechanism. In the receptor sits an electron that wants to move from a high-energy state to a lower energy one. To do this, it needs to get rid of a specific amount of energy. When an odor molecule enters the receptor, it offers a pathway. The electron can perform a quantum tunnel, a jump through an energy barrier that would be impossible in classical physics, from the receptor onto the odor molecule and back. But this tunneling is only allowed if the odor molecule can absorb the electron's excess energy. It does this by using that energy to boost one of its own vibrations. So if the odor molecule has a bond that vibrates with just the right frequency to match the energy the electron needs to lose, the tunneling happens. This flow of electrons creates a tiny electrical current, which sends a signal to the brain. In this model, the smell of spearmint isn't its shape, but the collection of its unique vibrational frequencies. This could explain why mirror image molecules smell different. While their atoms are the same, their overall vibrational modes can differ. This idea remains highly debated, and proving it is incredibly difficult. But it opens up the tantalizing possibility that every time we smell a flower or a meal, our noses are performing a delicate act of quantum measurement. So from the hyper-efficiency of plants to the internal compass of birds and the potential quantum nature of our own senses, it's clear we are on the cusp of a revolution in understanding biology. The field of quantum biology is still in its early days. Many of these concepts are theoretical hypotheses backed by indirect evidence. The sheer technical difficulty of probing and proving quantum effects within the hot, chaotic environment of a living organism is a massive hurdle. Rigorous experimental proof is still needed to move these ideas from speculation to scientific fact. But we are living in a golden age of exploration. New technologies like ultrafast laser spectroscopy, single-molecule imaging, and powerful computer simulations are giving us unprecedented tools to peer into this hidden quantum layer of life. This journey promises to reveal how the strange and wonderful rules of quantum mechanics are not just a quirk of physics, but an essential, fundamental part of the intricate dance of life itself. By learning nature's quantum secrets, we may not only solve biology's biggest mysteries, but also unlock a future of unimaginable technological advancement, inspired by the unseen quantum processes that animate the world all around us. It turns out, nature has been a quantum master for billions of years. We are only just now beginning to learn its secrets. Thank you for listening to Fun Facts Online.